The British comedy classic Hearts and Coronets presents a dark and twisted story about murder and inheritance, and there's certainly a lot you can do with that concept when moved to the present day. With How to Make a Killing, Glen Powell takes on the role of the disinherited Beckett and brings his expected charm to the character. However, the script never rises above mildly amusing, and the female characters who come into his life feel particularly underwritten. There's the usual commentary about the rich and class, but the film does not become more than occasionally pleasant rather than something truly biting. Powell handles that delicate balance in showing Beckett committing murder, but still having a bit of sympathy for him. There are shades of his role in Hitman here, as we see him attempt multiple schemes and disguises to do away with his relatives, and there is amusement in seeing the various ways he does the job. Even though we know it's coming, it's still funny whenever there's a smash cut to a funeral. There's a framing device of Beckett talking to a priest, and those also provide a humorous interaction as he tells his story. It's those moments where the movie most comes alive. Where the film disappoints is how it depicts Beckett's relationships with two women in his life. The film's momentum stops whenever we get to those subplots, which is certainly not the fault of the actors. Margaret Qualley and Jessica Henwick try their best to enliven their characters, but they are largely underwritten. Qualley occasionally pops in to provide some cryptic message, but there's nothing interesting about her character even as we find out more about her. Henwick is saddled with the love interest role, and her and Powell don't display too much chemistry despite their best efforts. The film seems to struggle with how to handle these specific storylines, and those scenes don't provide much in the way of laughs. Beckett's rich family members are all given simple traits that don't make them stand out in any particular way. The exception is Bill Camp as the only sympathetic red fellow in the movie, and he shows why Beckett develops a respect for him. A lot of the film just moves from scene to scene, and while there are elements of commentary here, it's not nearly as biting as one expects from a dark comedy about the wealthy. How to Make a Killing is a pleasant enough watch, but it primarily rests on Glen Powell's likability as an actor, and he has become an actor who knows how to bring plenty of charm to his roles and providing an understanding for his character's motivations, even someone resorting to murder in this case. John Patton Ford stages the murder scenes well as we see the different ways Beckett kills off his family members. However, despite this premise, the film feels rather ordinary a lot of the time and has difficulty juggling the subplots. It's certainly entertaining in spots, but could have been a little funnier and more clever.